Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Grilly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Leighton. We have Brigitte, Cueter, Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874. 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874.
Former Philippine Central Bank Deputy Governor Diwa Ginigundo was very frank with his assessment of the early performance of the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Speaking before the Right to Know Right Now Coalition, a group of freedom of information advocates on Thursday, Ginigundo called for more specific plans to guide the Philippine economy out of the current challenging circumstances.
So far, we have seen 4 months of his leadership. With all due respect, we have yet to see more complete plans beyond the 8-point program and pronouncement of adherence to the Ambition 2040 plan. As for infra, as your coalition documents, many of them are recycled from the previous administration. Some are still on the drawing board.
The coalition presented monitoring reports on the Marcos administration's first 100 days. The reports were very detailed, covering specific campaign promises or lack thereof, and many of the researchers behind the reports agree that not much has been accomplished.
Marami pong sinabi yung presidente nung kanyang campaign during his COVID programs, pero wala pa pong follow through within the first 100 days. So, kaya continuous dapat yung monitoring to really check. Pero yun po yung masasagot ko now na wala pa po konkretong plano for health.
Just last week, we had a meeting with the local government units and they still approach climate change as parang disaster response. When you declare climate emergency, dapat sundan yun ng coherent, collaborated and cohesive action.
But A.J. Montesa of Action for Economic Reforms acknowledges that the economic team has at least been proactive in its efforts for fiscal consolidation, which is vital considering how much the national government's debt has ballooned due to the pandemic. The Bureau of the Treasury reported the national government's total outstanding debt stood at a new record high of 13.52 trillion pesos as of end September, up 495.54 billion pesos for the month due to the peso's depreciation against the US dollar. 31.2% of that debt came from abroad. The national government debt has increased by 1.79 trillion pesos or 15.2% since the end of 2021. Montesa says the Department of Finance still needs to get lawmakers on board with proposals to raise tax revenues and rationalize spending, things that are not at all popular in politics.
I think the DOF has been very supportive of the fiscal consolidation plan. So they do have a plan naman. It's really just a matter of it hurdling the legislative process. I think they might also want to reassess which ones they should prioritize. Like, as I mentioned earlier, I think health and excise taxes are very effective. So they might want to put that on the list of their priorities.
On the spending side, Montesa says there is also a need for the government to be more transparent with its proposed 2023 budget, noting the 5.268 trillion peso proposal has a lot of money in opaque intelligence and confidential funds. Ginigundo also warned that corruption has not been tackled head-on by the Marcos administration, which he says is a big mistake.
We lose almost 1 trillion pesos in graft and corruption annually. One can only imagine how much in public services that would fund. If we can promote good governance, there would be less reason for our budget deficit and the national debt to continue to grow.
The National Economic and Development Authority has vowed to release its Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028 by December, noting that this will contain the specific roadmap to achieve all of the promises contained in the 8-point economic agenda and the Ambition 2040 program, including vows to curb inflation, create better jobs, and safeguard security and stability. Aside from this, Socio-Economic Planning Secretary RCN WOW says the Philippine Action Plan for Sustainable Consumption and Production, containing actions to help the Philippines shift to climate-smart and sustainable practices, will be released this month.
Binanggit niyan sa akin ni Ronnie Dayan. Hindi ko malaman kung middle, early, or late January. Sabi niya, sir, mga ganun. Sir, gumawa tayo ng pera. Sabi ko niya, bakit naman? Sir, kakandidato si ma'am. Sabi ko,
Sino mo?
si Secretary de Lima.
This is a video of former Bureau of Corrections OIC Rafael Ragos making a statement before a lawyer from the Public Attorney's Office, accusing then-Senator Leila de Lima of taking a cut from the alleged illegal drug trading in the National Penitentiary, and his then-bodyguard Ronnie Dayan of supposedly running the show. It was taken on September 26, 2016 at the PAO Central Office in Quezon City. The 6-year-old video surfaced on Thursday when excerpts were shown to the media by former Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II to try to disprove Ragos' claim it was Aguirre who coerced him to make false accusations against de Lima. Ragos, once de Lima's and Dayan's co-accused in a conspiracy to commit illegal drug trading case before a Muntinlupa court, initially claimed he personally delivered drug money to Dayan in de Lima's house in Parañaque in 2012, supposedly for de Lima's senatorial bid. But in April this year, he retracted his claim by executing an affidavit, accusing Aguirre instead of coercing him to testify against de Lima. Last Friday, Ragos affirmed his statement in court. Aguirre, who had previously denied the claim, showed up in his former office on Thursday only for the sole purpose of refuting Ragos' claims and to show to the media the video recording. To him, this is proof that Ragos is lying.
Makita ninyo dyan kung gaano ka-free, kung gaano ka-spontaneous, kung gaano ka-voluntary ang pagbigay ng statement, supplemental affidavit ni Rafi Ragos.
Turning the tables on Ragos, he warned him he could be reimpleaded as an accused in the drug case against de Lima and Dayan, especially because no Justice Secretary has supposedly approved Ragos' discharge as an accused from the case. Aguirre raised the issue in a meeting with Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla, reminding him of a department order that Aguirre issued during his time requiring automatic review by the Justice Secretary of resolutions in drug cases.
You must remember na itong si Ragos was a co-accused of Secretary de Lima, Dayan, tsaka siya. Silang tatlo recommended dismissed by the prosecutors yet para gamitin siyang testigo. But hindi naman siya nagpakatotoo. As a matter of fact, na-retract siya. Kaya pwedeng baliktarin yung dismissal sa kanya. Pag inalis yung dismissal sa kanya, he will be charged. Yung katulad nung charges ni de Lima at ni Dayan ngayon, and that would be non-bailable offense.
Aguirre warned Ragos could even face perjury or false testimony charges for making false statements. ABS-CBN News reached out to POW Chief Persida Acosta to confirm the authenticity of the video, as well as the veracity of the claim that Ragos voluntarily made a supplemental affidavit before a POW lawyer, but we have yet to receive a response. It is not clear why the video surfaced only now, except that Aguirre said he only learned about it only a few days ago. But the release of the video came a day before Ragos is set to continue testifying before a Muntinlupa court Friday to finish his testimony affirming his recantation. The prosecution is currently cross-examining him. What is also not clear yet is if the prosecution will use the video in challenging Ragos' retraction. Journalists were told Aguirre would be at the DOJ on Thursday to meet Prosecutor General Benedicto Malcontento, a claim denied by Aguirre himself.
I'm not meeting PG. Kaya lang ako tumawag sa kanya ay sapagkat balita ko napakahigpit na raw ng pagpasok dito. Kaya tinawagan ko, sabi sa akin nung nagpayo sa akin, tawagan mo kung sinong kaibigan mo diyan sa Department of Justice, baka hindi ka makapasok. True enough. Ayaw kong papasukin ng mga gwardya, despite the fact na ako ay former SOJ.
Aguirre also defended his decision to go to the DOJ and talk to the media instead of manifesting his explanations in court.
Bakit hindi sa korte? Hindi naman ako pinapatawag ng korte. Ikalawa, hindi pa ito ay pagkakataon na pagpresenta ng witnesses ng depensa. Kaya hindi ako maaring magtestigo dun ngayon unless naipatawag nila ako.
In a statement, Ragos' lawyer, Attorney Michael De Castro, said the video of his client talking to POW lawyers working under the instructions of the DOJ secretary is not inconsistent with what Ragos told the court. He challenged Aguirre to produce Ragos' written waiver of his Miranda rights, which should always be made in the presence of a competent and independent counsel. De Lima's camp, for its part, held off commenting on the issue until Ragos finishes his testimony on Friday.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Welcome to Veronica segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting Filipina who's a very active leader and in what she does here in the Midwest or the Chicago community. And she's very, very interesting. And I invited her to this interview to let us know about this very interesting and wonderful organization that she's heading here. And help me welcome Nerissa Allegretti. That's Italian, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
My
So
husband's last name.
I like her name. I like Allegretti. That really, it really impressed me that beautiful name. The first time I heard about it. Anyway, welcome to our show, Nerissa. Nerissa is the Midwest coordinator of this powerful organization called NAFCON. And let us hear from Nerissa about NAFCON. Welcome to our show. What is NAFCON, Nerissa?
Okay. First of all, magandang hapon, mga kababayan, and to everyone out there who are listeners, viewers, and patrons of supporters of Cprtv, and of course with our very lovely and icon of our community, Miss Veronica Leighton. And anyhow, about NAFCON, it stands for the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns. And 19 years ago, in 2023, we established NAFCON in San Jose, California. Yeah, the reason behind that is there were needs. At that time, ang mga kababayan natin were experiencing layoff sa mga airport, especially if you are not, I think if you're not a citizen, kasi there was something tragic that happened around that time after 9/11. So security was very tight, and our people, ang mga Filipinos and Filipino Americans were affected. So we need to an organization that can be a venue for all the concerns ng mga kababayan. And then it developed into yung mga workplace situation, yung condition natin sa workplace. And so yung mga immigration concerns. So it's we have like 4.7, 4.8 million Filipinos in the US as of 2010 census, because we still do not have the 2020 because we were affected by COVID. So around that time, we already have 4.7, 4.8 million out of the 300 plus million population in the US. That's a very small number. We are a minority. But out of that 4.7, 4.8 million, more than half are workers. And more than half were first generation, or those who came from the Philippines. And many of them, more than half, are women. So that's why women should be out there, So many of us also in the National Alliance for Filipino Concern are women, women power in the Filipino community.
So the name NAFCON stands for National Association.
National Alliance
for Filipino Concerns. I like it.
And it is composed of organizations. It is composed of more than 30 organizations in major cities in the US. Yeah.
When you say composed of about 30 organizations, you mean it encompasses other sub-Filipino organizations?
No, it is an alliance, so there is a basis of unity in the alliance, and its members are different organizations that shares the vision and mission of the National Alliance. So majority of our organizations, or the strongest organizations we have, are Filipino community centers in the different cities, like from the Northeast to the West Coast. And even in California, in Hawaii.
Wow, very interesting. What cities are these? Big cities.
So we have in Honolulu in Hawaii, and then San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles, Long Beach, San Diego. That's in the West Coast. Oh, of course, the Pacific Northwest, we have in Seattle, in Portland. And then in the East Coast, we have New York, New Jersey, and then in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. Here, of course, we know that in the Midwest, we are very isolated, our situation. There's only the largest concentration of Filipinos are in Illinois, but in the other states within the Midwest, the Filipinos are only a couple of thousands, and they're all scattered. So we're just trying to strengthen the organization here in the Midwest via our organizing here in Chicago.
When did you start being on Midwest?
We also started around 2003. There's only a very few of us. The member organization here are the Fellowship for Filipino Migrants, and we were out there in the 2006 immigrant rights mega marches, like the 500,000 mobilization at that time because of the very concerning situation with the immigrant. I'm not sure if you remember House Resolution 4437 or the Sensenbrenner Act in the House of Congress. And it says there that all like 12 million without clear papers or immigration, status, no matter what are the circumstance, are considered criminals. So yeah, and I think even the then Senator Hillary Clinton and even the then Senator Barack Obama were very outspoken about it. And that was around 2006. And of course, the churches and, because it's kind of very extreme. So it didn't, pass because of all the actions that they had. Mhm.
Okay, how big is your total membership of NAFCON?
So we count by our organization, our member organization.
Yes.
So it's like 30, but it's in major cities and how do you call this? We are really updated with the issues and concerns. We are out there. And we also build relationship with NAFA, the National Federation for Filipino American Association. We just had a common activity last the early part of October this month for the Filipino American History Month. We were in Washington, D.C. and we were doing like lobbying work together. Yeah.
You just did some kind of a Halloween party this week.
Mhm.
And what it was, I was there. Thank you for inviting me, and I really enjoyed myself. And that kind of party, is that more of a fundraising or more of a social gathering?
In our community, we try to combine things because the workplace situation is really stressful. So our people really love to have some kind of socials, but at the same time, they wanted to give back to the Philippines, especially with the typhoon in the Philippines right now, the flash flood, the landslide. So it just happened that the typhoon happened in the Philippines, but we always see that the last quarter of the year is typhoon season in the Philippines. So we just regularly do fundraisers. So we combine socials and fundraising to make it very meaningful at the same time. Mhm.
So how would you describe NAFCON Midwest in their standing here? Is it a political, social, or social kind of organization?
Depending on how we say social, but we are a cause-oriented organization. So it's a non-for-profit organization, but with political messaging because it addresses social and political concerns of the Filipino Americans. So actually, we have a Filipino American agenda that we submitted to President Biden within the 100 years that of his office, and it addresses concerns from different sectors, and of course, being immigrants. And it's in our the link is NAFCONUSA.org or NAFCONUSA.org. And more information is out there in the website.
All right. So do you have some kind of a get together or convention once a year of all the NAFCON members all over the US?
Yes, we do actually in November 5 and 6 in Los Angeles. We're going to have our national conference the whole day of November 5, which is this coming Saturday, are like workshops and panel speakers. And the following day, the Sunday, November 6, we will have our General Assembly. We will amend our Constitution. We will have our general program of action for the next 3 years, and we will elect new officers. But every year we have, every 3 years we have a General Assembly where we elect our officers. But every year we have a conference to discuss on our experiences, our common concerns, and resolutions for moving forward. Yeah.
Well, regarding membership, of course, you want to increase your membership number. What kind of individuals are you looking for?
Mm-hmm. So our membership is based on organization. So as long as the organization, the Filipino or Filipino American organization, shares our vision and mission, at least one of our pillars. Our first pillar is education and research. Then we have culture and heritage. We have health and wellness, and then economic and progress in the community. So if one of those 4 pillars is shared by an organization interested to become a member, then we review also, we discuss, we have an orientation, and then if we agree, then we will admit them to the alliance.
Very interesting, Nerissa. Okay, as we are running out of time, I want you to invite our viewing audience for participation in NAFCON Midwest.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much, Miss Veronica Leighton, our lovely Miss Veronica Leighton, always out there in our community. And I would like to invite our kababayan, of course, and supporters of the Filipino American Community to watch out for the many more upcoming community involvement of the National Alliance for Filipino Concern, NAFCON. And we'll be out there. We'll keep in touch with ViaTimes and the Cprtv to give inputs or updates on what's going on and how we're doing and how we can involve and engage many more kababayan in our community.
Terrific, Nerissa. I thank you for gracing our show today. And for those viewers who might be interested in joining NAFCON Midwest, please try to get in touch with Miss Nerissa Allegretti. Where can we get hold of you, Nerissa?
You can get hold of me through my the NAFCON Midwest, how do you call this, the email that we have. It's nafconmw@gmail.com. But in our national office, we have our centralized email. It's called info@nafconusa.org. You can also reach me through my cell phone. You can text or drop a message. The number is 224-381-6888.
Terrific. Thank you so much. And Nerissa, what I can tell you is I really like your organization, and keep in touch whenever there is anything we can do for you and your organization. All right?
Sure. Thank you so much. It's really, we really highly appreciate this invitation. And
anytime. What a great organization in helping Filipino migrants in all causes that they might need in this country. All right, congratulations. And maraming salamat, Nerissa. And enjoy your day today. Bye.
Magandang hapon. Bye.
US Med, a trusted supplier of diabetes equipment for nearly 30 years, has great news for people living with diabetes and the pain of regular testing. The days of repeated, painful finger sticks are over. Now you can wear a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, and eliminate routine finger sticks. If you use insulin daily to manage your condition, a continuous glucose monitor could help you control your diabetes and reduce or eliminate those painful finger sticks. If you have Medicare or private insurance, US Med can deliver a CGM system right to your door. And if you qualify, there may be little or no cost to you. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurer directly. Don't spend one more painful day testing your blood sugar. Call now to get your continuous glucose monitoring system so you can take control of your diabetes and get back to enjoying life.
Call US Med now.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat, and welcome to Veronica segment of the show. Today I have a very interesting person, and you will hear from him in a few seconds. And his name is Mr. Mark Albers, and Mr. Mark Albers is running as a candidate for state representative for the 15th district of Illinois. Did I say it right?
That is correct. Thank you.
Okay. Help me welcome Mr. Mark Albers. Mr. Mark Albers, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
As you are a candidate running for state representative in our state, can you please tell us what is the coverage of this district, the 15th district that we're talking about?
Yeah, so this district covers most of Morton Grove, about half of Niles. It touches on a bit of Park Ridge, and then we go into the northwest side of Chicago, such as Sauganash, kind of follows along Lehigh. So it's a pretty diverse and a very irregularly shaped section of Illinois.
What is the number of voters in that area?
So there's 110,000 residents, and about 2/3 of them vote or are eligible to vote.
I see. Okay, and you're running under the flagship of Republican Party, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, that's a very good party.
Thank you.
Yes, I know. But anyway, Mark, what drove you to run for an office in the state of Illinois?
Well, I grew up in Illinois. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Then I moved to the north side of town when I graduated college and took a job up this way. So I currently live in Morton Grove. I've dabbled in politics locally. I was actually elected to the Morton Grove Library Board several years ago. And it gave me a pretty good background into, what is government all about in a smaller and lighter way. I had the opportunity here this year with all the problems that are happening with the economy, with safety, families and such, that I wanted to run for the state representative slot because I felt that we needed a representative that goes to Springfield that actually represents our values and our concerns, and not necessarily a special interest candidate, which has kind of been what they've had here for close to 60 years.
Okay, so when is the election?
The actual election is November 8th, and early voting for the most part is going to start on, I think it's October 24th. Some early voting has started already, but it's really going to kick in beginning next week.
Wow, pretty soon.
It's here. Vote like your life depended on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, Mark, what is your agenda or your platform for running?
Yeah, so when you're out there talking to people, if I were to just touch on, just say the highlights of what people are talking about and what I'm concerned about, you've got safety and security being mostly first and foremost. We're concerned about our own safety and our family safety. Families and parental rights, very important to me, because as the schools were closed for the last 2 years during the pandemic, we learned a lot about what the students were actually learning in school. And I think it's time for the parents to really get involved and take that curriculum back. Illinois is taxed, if we're not the highest, we're the second highest tax state in the nation. So I do not, and I will not foster more taxes or any tax increases or more fees or any new fees. If anything, we need to cut taxes. We need to cut the gas tax. We should really eliminate the tax on food like they do in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin does well without a tax on food. And also, when you look at our real estate taxes, they're really high. I'd like to adopt some of what they do in Indiana and set that maximum real estate tax amount at 1% of the assessed value of your house. So a $300,000 house would cost you $3,000 in taxes, not necessarily 12 to 15, which is what we're paying here now. So corruption is a problem in Illinois. Almost weekly, you're seeing somebody getting arrested or accused of doing something wrong. Reckless spending at Illinois, we spend far more than we take in taxes. And when they tell you they're going to balance the budget, well, they do that by increasing taxes, not by cutting spending. I want to cut spending so we can cut taxes. Healthcare is a bit of a problem. It's expensive. I'd like to open that up to more providers so we get lower cost healthcare, more people involved in healthcare, better healthcare, better quality healthcare, and eventually it's going to cost us less. There's also a little problem with mental health. So along with funding the police departments fully, I think we need to kind of couple that too with funding of for more mental health. We've kind of forgotten that segment of the population. I think it's really important we come back and address that there's some problems there. We work with the police, we fund them, we just do better overall, makes us all safer. There's a pension crisis too, which I'm sure you're aware of, being an Illinois resident. We owe a lot of people a lot of money, and we need to figure out how to fund that. They actually did work and they do deserve to get their pensions, but we need to take a new, better look at how we do that. So we need to pay that off. And really, those are kind of like the top of mind things that I would like to work on.
We heard you, Mark, and wonderful. It's really nice because you're going to be representing a diverse community out there, and those are the real nice issues that we really have to to really know and understand, and how to fight all those taxes that's going higher and higher every day, and other issues about the schools and mental health and other health issues in the community. But can you please tell us can you tell us about your background? What is it that you have decided to run for a political office?
I put myself through college. I worked full-time while going to school, almost full-time. I've always been somebody who wanted to give back. I came up here to Morton Grove, 35 years ago. And after I met my wife, we got involved in our church. So I was the president of the Parish Council of St. Martha's. I was also on its parish finance committee. I got involved in the Morgan Grove Chamber of Commerce. I was a board director. I was on its marketing committee, and then eventually elected to be the president of the board. So I've always liked to serve people, and I'm not looking for anything in return. My parents kind of instilled hard work and service in me, and I've always wanted to help others. And while I can't do it with money like really rich people can, I can kind of do it with some time and talent. So I think that I can do more for the community higher up in the political spectrum than if I was just some smaller local politician. So I'm hoping I can bring some, let's say, reasonable judgment to the position down in Springfield and help make things better for everybody.
Great, terrific. And well, Mark, I wish you good luck and congratulations on what you're doing and in trying to help our community. I really thank you for gracing our show today. One last word to invite our viewing audience to participate in this coming up election.
Yeah, so please get out and vote. The early voting starts now. If you would be so kind as to vote for me, you would punch number 42. That's 42 on the ballot. If you'd like to learn more about me, you can go to my website, which is albers415.com. It's ALBERSFOR15.com. And I would greatly appreciate your support.
Terrific. And remember, punch 45?
42.
42.
42.
I'm sorry. 42. Okay.
42. You got it.
All right. 42. All right. So don't forget 42. Punch 2.
You got it.
Or Mark Albers.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Thank you for gracing our show today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
We really appreciate you too. Okay. And bye now and paalam in our language.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
This is Mark Albers, and I'm running for state representative in District 15. I will fully fund public safety and law enforcement. I will reduce taxes and fees. I support families and parental rights. I will stop indoctrination, woke studies, and comprehensive sex education in grades K to 12. On your ballot, punch 42 so I can fight for you in Springfield. Thank you.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Hello, Cprtv viewers. This is Pastor Ed once again coming to you from Faith Family Worship Center in Chicago, Illinois. I just want to share with you a short devotion, and I'm going to read a few verses from Colossians chapter 3. Verses 12, 13, and 14. And these passages tell us in verse 12, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Verse 13, bear with each other and forgive one another. And if any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And then in verse 14, and over all this virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. I just want to title this devotion, Designer's Clothing. Designers, I'm talking about God, our designer, the great designer of the universe and of nature and the creator of all life. He is the great designer. But for these particular passages, I just want to share something about what I would call the designer's clothing. And as you can see in verse 12, it says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And so this verse tells us to clothe ourselves or put on the designer's clothing. And the one thing that you will notice right off the bat from verse 12 is that Paul said, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved. So don't forget those three things. We are God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved. And once we have a relationship with God's Son Jesus, we are called holy, dearly loved, and chosen people. And this designer's clothing that I'm talking about is they don't easily wear out. Okay, unlike the physical clothing that we have, over time they will wear out. But when we clothe ourselves with the designer's clothing, namely compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, forgiveness, and love, they will never wear out as long as we keep on using them, we keep on applying them in our lives. They are eternal. They are part of us. And also, the designer's clothing is something that's not so expensive. Okay, you don't pay for this. It's free. It's been bought by the Lord Jesus Christ at the cross of Calvary. Because once we receive Christ as Savior and Lord, then the life of Jesus begins to live in us. It's no longer I that lives, but Christ who lives in us, Galatians chapter 2, right? And so Jesus purchased our salvation, our redemption. And as holy, chosen, and beloved people of God, we have this available clothings, designer's clothing, compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, love, forgiveness. And these are beautiful Christian virtues or Christian graces that we can put on every single day. Every single day. And the other thing I'm going to talk about, this designer's clothing, is that, people tend to say dress to impress, right? But in this particular designer's clothing, this is to dress to bless. This is to bless other people, to be a channel of blessings, and to show compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience to others, forgiving them, forgiving those who hurt us. It says here, bear with each other and forgive one another if any one of you has a grievance against someone. And then it says, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all of this, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. So love has to be the foundation. Love has to be the motivation. Love has to be at the forefront of all that we do, because that's what makes it authentic and genuine, when we show compassion, kindness, humility, patience, gentleness, love, and forgiveness to others. And so these are beautiful passages. I hope you are blessed upon hearing them, or I would encourage you to read Colossians chapter 3. These are wonderful, anointed, blessed words of God. So thank you again for joining us. God bless you, and until next time.
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is a perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Good afternoon. This is Brigitte, Carino, Cueter, bringing you this week's local news from our community. Illinois Environmental Protection Agency Director John J. Kim announced the opening of the second round of funding through the Illinois Electric Vehicle (EV) Rebate Program. The program was created under the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, CEJA, passed by the General Assembly and signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker in the fall of 2021. Individuals can access and complete an application for a second-round rebate under Illinois' EV Rebate Program. Applications for the second funding round are being accepted starting November 1st and must be postmarked on or before January 31st, 2023. Because of the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act's innovative rebate program, ownership of an electric vehicle has never been more attainable in Illinois, said Governor J.B. Pritzker. As daylight savings time ends on November 6th, the American Red Cross encourages everyone to test their smoke alarms as they turn their clocks back to help stay safe from home fires. When turning your clocks back this weekend, test your smoke alarms and replace the batteries if needed. Visit redcross.org/fire for more information, including an escape plan to create and practice with your family, or download the free Red Cross Emergency app by searching American Red Cross in app stores. Fox News Digital reported that Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot introduced Wednesday an ordinance to allow the office of the mayor to receive an annual inflation increase cap at 5%. Lightfoot would be allowed to raise her salary by up to 5% under the proposed ordinance. However, she can opt out of the increase. Lightfoot's current annual salary is $209,915, but this would rise to $216,210 by May 23, 2023. For the city's out-of-control crime rates, Chicago Mayor Lightfoot has been repeatedly criticized. Lightfoot was recently criticized for focusing more on posting videos of tone-deaf dancers on social media rather than making Chicago safer for its residents. Fox News reported that the city saw a 37% increase on violent crime in comparison to 2021. According to statistics compiled by the Chicago Police Department, motor vehicle thefts have increased 83% and 60% respectively, while burglary has increased 21% and robbery has increased 17%. Witches are among us. You just won't find them wearing pointy hats, riding broomsticks, or boiling eye of newt in a cauldron. Not the real ones, at least. So, which cities are best for living a charmed life? With Halloween quickly just past us, Lawn Love did a little data magic to conjure up 2022's best cities for witches. Here are Chicago's ranks in some key metrics, with first equaling the best. Witch Facebook groups, 10th. Naturopathic/holistic establishments or healers, 6th. Tarot readers, 3rd. Spiritual shops, 3rd. To come up with their ranking, they compared the 200 biggest U.S. cities based on access to covens, tarot readers, and astrology classes. They also looked for cities brimming with natural healers, herbalists, and metaphysical supply stores among 18 total metrics. The Illinois Department of Public Health reported an increase this week in the number of counties at an elevated level for COVID-19. IDPH Director Dr. Samir Vora is urging Illinoisans to get fully protected with the new bivalent booster shots and the flu vaccine before the holidays arrive. The new bivalent COVID-19 booster shots are designed to offer added protection from the now dominant strains of the Omicron variant. The CDC released data showing that 38 counties in Illinois are at an elevated community level for COVID-19, up from 26 counties last week. 5 counties are rated a high level and 33 are at medium. IDPH is reporting 13,642 new confirmed and probable cases of COVID-19 in Illinois and 67 deaths since October 21st. As the weather is getting colder, Illinois and much of the nation are seeing a notable increase in individuals getting sick from respiratory viruses, including the flu, RSV, and once again COVID-19, said IDPH Director Dr. Samir Vora. This uptick makes it critically important for everyone to use the tools that are available to protect yourself and your family. Vaccines remain the most powerful tool to prevent serious illness. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
And that's our show for today. Thank you all for watching Chicago Philippine Reports TV. We hope you will stay safe and enjoying this day with your family and friends. I'm Maria Girly Pascual. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay and we'll see you back here next week.